Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you 3D perspectives from varying skill range. I am the captain of this vessel, Andrew. With me, our bosun, Keith.
Hello.
And our chief stew, Liz.
Below deck. Hey, guys.
This is Keith's idea for an intro.
Oh, I love it.
But this week...
You know I can't.
This week was another listener request. And thank you all who voted for us to play this game. You asked for us to revisit the Sea of Thieves. So we originally did the episode back when the game hit its 1-year anniversary. So now we're back again at it. It just recently hit its 3-year anniversary. I guess I shouldn't say recently. But Sea of Thieves...
No, wait, that doesn't make sense. We recorded in 2019. It's 2022. So wouldn't that be 4 years then?
I mean, yeah, I lied. It wasn't recent.
It's been 3 years since we recorded.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's kind of crazy. But Sea of Thieves is brought to you by Rare Studios. And Sea of Thieves is a first-person pirate simulator where you get to man a ship, whether it be a sloop, a 2-person sloop, a 3-man brig, or a 4-man galleon. You go around sailing the Sea of Thieves and causing all sorts of havoc. You can either go out searching for treasure or sink other pirates and try to steal theirs. Going around for a revisit. Is this a game or pass for you guys?
I mean, it stays the same. This Sea of Thieves is still a game. It's a game that I largely have not played as much as over the years as I did way back when it came out and when we had started and recorded this. But nonetheless, man, I love this game. Even at its most frustrating points, I still love it.
Yeah, for me, it's still a game. I think that, I haven't played it in a couple years because back in the day, it was a really long adventure. And especially with having kids and stuff, it's just like, can I really set aside that much time? I mean, I can, but then I start thinking about oh, I should be doing X, Y, and Z instead. So it is really hard to carve out that much time, especially because you're sailing. So it's not like you can just pause the game. But they've actually done a lot to kind of help that. And I do think, though, that all the things that I disliked about the game is kind of what was expanded with the game. But that being said, it's still a great game. So.
Yeah, I'm obviously still with you guys. This is still a game for me. But I think I actually like it a little less than when we first did Sea of Thieves. I've been playing Sea of Thieves on and off for the past 3 years. So I know you guys said you haven't really touched it too much. I've at least been jumping back in every once in a while here and there. And there has been some great improvements.
But there's also been some things that just make it so much harder. And honestly, for gameplay wise, worse for me. The other night, I heard you playing with some of our listeners, correct?
Yes.
And I was
the
just
one who
like,
requested this game, Curtis.
Yeah. The situation you were in, I was just like, that is so frustrating. And it just makes the game longer and harder, but I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. I always interrupt you, so it's okay. But yeah, if you've listened to our original Sea of Thieves episode, if you've played Sea of Thieves, you kind of know a little bit what you're getting into. I just think for me, why I think I'm a little bit less into it, there's a good amount of times I would actually solo sloop, and I feel like the state of the game in now is really, really, really difficult if you are a solo slooper. If you are playing by yourself, I feel like you could have a really hard time. But
because the other night, I was like, oh, I'm going to solo sloop, And within 30 seconds of me leaving the island, less than 30 seconds, a ghost ship came and just started blasting me. I got hit 3 times in a row and I went down. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to, start using the wood. And then it hit me another 2 times. And I was like, do you know what? I'm too grumpy for this. I'm good.
The only thing... Oh, go ahead, Keith.
No, I was going to say, I do have to say I agree with you that I think I kind of miss old school Sea of Thieves a little bit. And, not to be old pirate yelling at the clouds / hipster pirate either. But, there is just something so special about when this game first came out. And it was so much more, I feel like, of a simulator.
Yeah.
And now there's just so much. And it's great because there's so much to do. And so you always feel like you can find or think of something to do. You're never stuck at I don't know, I'll just sail around, whatever. But while there's always something to do, There's kind of just always something to do. Or if you're not for like a second, someone's like, hey, I'm just going to come attack you now.
Yep.
And you always had that, but it's now there's ways that it's rewarded. And on one hand, that's really cool. On another hand, ugh.
Yeah, that was my least favorite thing when we were originally playing was, I mean, I understand this is a pirate game, so when people come after me, that's fine. But I feel like when people come after you in Sea of Thieves, like, they're the type of person that just has unlimited hours. And they just follow you around and around and out, all these new things, just trying to tell you, hey, this person's doing this thing where they're going to get like a ton of gold and I'm going to make it visible for the whole map. And so for me, I didn't want to do any of that crap. Because, I mean, I wish that, like, like, from what I liked at the beginning, that, like, it just felt like the map was so big and it took you so long to do stuff. Like, make it so that I didn't have to travel, like, as far. Like, make it more condensed. But now it's just like, oh, no, we're going to add this new stuff where you're just going to get people coming after you all the time. And that was my least favorite part of Sea of Thieves.
Man, you make a good point, Liz. Like, Sea of Thieves, at the end of the day, isn't so much about a game of skill. It's about a game of who has more time available.
It is. For me, it's like, I mean, you think about like Sea of Thieves, if like, it is made for pirates. And for me, like, I would feel bad if I saw somebody working really hard at something and sinking them.
Yeah.
But people don't feel that way when it's the other way around, you know? They're just like, I'm going to get that person. So for me, it's just like, that sucks, especially like solo swooping and stuff. Like, it's just so hard because you're fighting like all the different things in the game, and then it's just like some random group can come along and be like, sucks to be you. But I digress because, I mean, we should get into the story because now there is a story. And surprisingly, there's a Captain Jack Sparrow. So I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, so when we first recorded our Sea of Thieves episode, it just hit its 1 year anniversary. And the 1 year anniversary was, a nice big update. It came out with Tall Tales. It came out with the harpoons on the ship. It added a couple new factions, expanded the level cap for the factions. It added a whole slew of things. But of course now, after over 3 years, they've added a whole bunch more. So as Liz said, yes, there's now a more interesting story, more overall lore. Like, there was always a little bit of snippets here and there. The Tall Tales that originally came out, there was originally 9, I'm pretty sure. No, I think 10. But overall, though, they were kind of a little bit their own separate story with an overall story that they were slightly tied to, of you trying to, rebuild this totem to get to the shore of gold. But now they've added 2 more original Tall Tales, and then they added, as Liz said, the Pirate's Life campaign, which is a Pirates of the Caribbean adventure. So it adds 5 new tales for that, where you are essentially trying to save Jack Sparrow, rescue his ship, the Black Pearl, stop Davy Jones, and recover an artifact. So, what do you guys think of the story that has been developed so far, Sea of Thieves? Have you guys cared at all?
I feel like it made the gameplay feel even slower. Like, when you go up and you, like, select the story, I was just like, okay, come on, talk a little faster.
There's a lot of dialogue.
Because when you move away, it starts getting quieter and quieter. I'm like, wait, I can't even, like, stock my ship while you're talking. And then it starts going, and I really didn't find interest in it. And I played the first one with Andrew this week.
Because of the Pirate's Life.
Yes, because when it first came out, like 3 years ago, I had played a little bit. And so I was playing this new stuff with Captain Jack Sparrow. And for me, I found it very uninteresting and slow. And I just wanted like the regular gameplay. I'm like, I'm not digging anything up. I'm not really fighting. I'm just like, it's so for me, like I found it kind of boring. But I don't know if it was just like the mood I was in, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I think I remember doing one of the Tall Tales when they first came out, 1,000 years ago, roughly speaking.
No exaggeration.
No, none at all. No exaggeration. And I don't remember caring much for it. It just seemed, like Liz said, kind of slow. And at the same time, because I think the Pirates Life one is different, where you're on your own server, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is something to be said for that, because trying to do the Tall Tales around people who are just constantly sinking you, even if you don't have treasure, just because they can and they want to, it like I didn't ever want to do the Tall Tales, and so I didn't do them this time around either, or the campaign for that matter. I wanted to get back out on the seas with my pirates, my fellow pirates.
That's why I kind of wish that it was like Sea of Thieves on a different server. Like I wish that like even with like the story and stuff, I still wish I was doing the fun stuff that was exciting. So that's why it just felt so flat, because I felt like I was just running around like lighting lanterns, and I was like, where are the skellies? When am I fighting? And yeah, so I mean I understand like why they don't have a separate server, people who don't want to fight like, you know, people like actual pirates, you know, that want to sink your ship. But for me it's just like I don't understand why they couldn't combine the elements of like the regular game, because it honestly kind of felt like I don't want to say walking simulator, but it did feel like it was just kind of like that.
I mean, not having done it at all, I obviously can't say for sure, but I could imagine that. I mean, yeah, you have the skelly sloops or ghost sloops, whatever it sends you. I don't know, and that can be a nuisance. It can definitely be a struggle, but at the same time, I don't want to just fight AI. I always thought I did, and I kind of don't. I like the just enough of the AI fights you get with, you know, doing an Order of Souls missions and things like that. I don't think I'd want entirely PvE.
So for me, I enjoy them, but I'm not crazy about them. I'm kind of with you guys. They are a bit slow. So there's a ton of dialogue.
That's the word, slow.
And I agree, Liz. Like it is a lot of dialogue. And overall, I just don't care. I don't think the voice acting's that good. That like, so the main storyteller is this very heavy Jamaican accent woman. And honestly, I can't understand a word she's saying.
Well,
like, I have subtitles on, and I'm
yeah.
still just like, what is the story? I know I'm saving Jack Sparrow. He has a treasure. Davy Jones doesn't like him. He's captured. And I'm just like, okay. Like, but there's just like a ton of dialogue.
But it's also just weird that it's just like did they combine with Disney or just like
Yes. Which
that's just weird to me.
I know. I'm not a big fan of it
especially
either.
like right now, because we started playing it during like the trials and stuff. It's very awkward.
Oh yeah. Well,
I feel very awkward about it.
Johnny Depp is not the voice actor in this.
Oh, so someone mimicked him?
Yes.
That makes it even worse.
I know. I know, and that's actually one thing he said in the trial of like Disney is still cashing out on my character, but like I got thrown to the wolves and like.
Which, depending like how people feel about it, I mean, it could make people not want to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's one thing. I'm probably going to piss some people off here, but I am not a general fan of Disney. I think Disney's kind of a gross company.
So do you think that they sold out kind of thing, Sea of Thieves? Where they were just like, oh, Disney's going to give me a huge paycheck, and now we have Captain Jack Sparrow. And they're also like bringing stuff in from the original movie, I think. I've only seen the original movie, and there were some lines and some things happening like with the dog. And I was just like, they're really just bringing stuff from the first movie into the game?
Yeah, because nostalgia. See,
no, but it's just like, this is like Sea of Thieves. Nobody cares about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, they do. And this is why I'm kind of disappointed that they did it. It was always funny and kind of an ongoing joke. Like, originally we played Sea of Thieves. There was 2 references I've always heard a million of. There's always Pirates of the Caribbean, and the second is SpongeBob. Constantly slamming your ship along the side of a rock, going, it's good, you're good, you're good. Constant SpongeBob reference.
Or Weast.
And the fact... Yeah, or Weast. Yeah, those are the 2 things. There's Pirates of the Caribbean and SpongeBob people always kind of quote on Sea of Thieves.
I don't think I've seen a full episode of SpongeBob, so...
Oh, your life is sad, dark place. But but now that Sea of Thieves is actually like technically canon, or Pirates of the Caribbean is technically canon, I'm not crazy about it. It's always like one of those things where it's like, it's always a funny joke when it's kind of referenced, but then when it's actually brought into the light, it's not as funny or fun anymore. So as far as the tall tales go, though, I think they're like anything with Disney. I think it's a crazy spectacle, but it's not a ton of fun. Like when you go in there, like I think the production value of them is fantastic. Like they're really cool. You're doing some cool platforming. You're going to these cool environments, but it's just overall, it's just kind of slow.
But I do think that it's one of those situations too where like nobody like puts their money where their mouth is or puts their time where their mouth is. Because what I've seen online, like 99% of people agree with Johnny Depp, but Sea of Thieves isn't hurting, which is kind of weird. That's what I mean, like whatever you think about the trials, I wonder if this could possibly affect the game.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I honestly,
You don't think people care enough?
No, I really don't. I think, I don't know. I don't think it's anything that's going to have an impact on the gameplay. I don't think people who are playing the game generally tend to care. Even I think largely like us, like couldn't even care about the Tall Tales or the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff even being in there. I'd rather play the other parts of the game than really care about that in the first place. Whether Johnny,
But you get achievements, right?
Yeah.
So if you want achievements, you kind of have to.
yeah, no, and there's something to be said for that. I definitely didn't touch those, but I think there's achievements I'm willing to forego if I'm just not interested in the gameplay enough. And honestly, I as much as I love Sea of Thieves, that's kind of a place where I'm like, I'd rather invest my time otherwise.
But I will say the nice thing about the new Tall Tales of the Pirate's Life, that is the thing I think is good if you're a solo slooper. Like I said, they're pretty fun. Like, so when you go to them, like the very first one, you're going through this cave system, kind of hearing the story of ghosts. Then you eventually get to, honestly, like a hub world. It's a big open space with a tavern, a crashed ship, and you're kind of navigating this area. Me and Liz, you could go straight and just do the mission, but there's a ton of little secrets in it. You know, there's a lot of actual gold you can actually take home with you and like treasure and loot and special rewards if you actually explore, and there's different puzzles and stuff that are completely essentially side quests to the actual story. So like stuff like that is kind of cool. And I will say, like, if you're a solo person and you just want to kind of a chill time, I think the Pirate Life is great because, as Keith said, you actually sail and you're on your own server. So you don't have to worry about people harassing you. I
disagree with you because I just wanted to complete it because I was kind of bored with it.
I know you were, but I took the time for it and I actually found it pretty rewarding and cool.
See, I think I'd have...
It had some side stories.
I think I'd have more fun doing that if I was playing it with somebody than doing it solo. Because the thing about Sea of Thieves overall, for me personally, is I like solo slooping. I actually generally find it fun. But what I like about it is there's always that kind of sense of fear and that excitement of it. Yeah. Whereas if I'm just worrying about the AI traveling along kind of a set circular path and I know how to avoid them, yeah, I'm sure they force some instances of these boat battles on you, but largely you could probably ignore a lot of it if you take your time and navigate around it, which is all fine and well. But I don't know. I don't think I'd want to do that. Now, if assuming you can do a brig or anything, if I sat down with you guys or if I sat down with you, Andrew, I think I would have more fun with it. And I think even thinking about it, obviously I know I said I didn't play it, but if I'm thinking about it, maybe trying to play it with somebody who I want to experience Sea of Thieves, but I don't want to bring them into the crazy world of, emissaries and reapers and all of that stuff. Let's just learn some of the mechanics, learn some of the fun aspects of it, get that down, and then we'll take on the scary parts.
I like that you switched from you guys to you, Andrew.
Well, you and I...
like, I would have fun with Andrew. Like, you switched that real
quick.
Well,
no, I meant the two of you together or Andrew, like as two separate instances, because you and I don't play together, Liz. unless I'm playing with Andrew. That's the only time we play together. So, you know what? Fact.
But I do wonder, like, when you're talking about, like, when you're in a sloop, how often do people actually attack sloops?
All the time.
Because I think it's just, like...
All the time.
It's so cowardly. Like, if you're a brig or if you have a galleon, you know that sloop might have one person. It's 1 to 2. Whereas in like a brig, there's like 99% of the time there's 3. Or a galleon, there's 99% of the time there's 4. You might be waiting for someone to come in, but like usually it's full. So it's just like kind of makes you look like a little coward.
I don't know. Yes and no, because This is a funny thing about Sea of Thieves is you really never know who or what is inside that boat. And it's kind of the beauty of it is sometimes people who are slooping, a solo sloop could be the most dangerous person on the entire server. If there's somebody who's good enough, they can outwit you, they can do all that fun stuff.
But it could be 4 amazing players who are really good at the game that can go against one person. So just like, at what point you're just like, well, I'm kind of a loser attacking like
I don't know, because I still say at the end of the day, like a sloop can generally, if they want to win the time battle, that is, of course, not the actual battle, a sloop can generally outrun a galleon. Not on a straight out race, but you can dip, dodge, and duck around things a lot better than a galleon can, and that's some of the most fun as a solo sloop. I'm obviously no expert at it, but I can hold my own pretty good in a chase, and I always have
But
fun.
if you have 4 people, like it's so easy for like 1 or 2 of them to jump off the ship. So if 2 people jump off the ship and get on the sloop, it's kind of like a no-brainer. That's all you have to do is drop the anchor. So for me, it's just like, maybe they're good, but I don't know. I think it's kind of lame.
I'm not fully even disagreeing with you. I still think that there is opportunities for a 4v1, the solo person to win, and without even being like a crazy good player, like you can win those battles, and I think that that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah, I actually really like, and I said this in our original episode, I think, that there are a lot of videos out there that are really fun to watch. Like, there are some people that are so good at Sea of Thieves, and they just jump on a ship and they're just like taking care of business by themselves. It really is 1v4, even if there's like 3 other people on their ship and there's just one person goes. So it really is amazing. But that's why it's just like, it's weird that you have these different ability levels where just like you can have like brand spanking new people on a server, and then people that just like annihilate everyone. So there's kind of like an imbalance sometimes.
So I have a question, and I don't want you to take offense to this, Liz. Are you sure that Andrew doesn't just pull up YouTube videos while you guys are playing, and you aren't really sure the difference in playing with Andrew while he does everything and watching somebody else do it on a video?
What do you mean?
Well,
you said Andrew doing everything. First of all, I want to say that, like, so when we first started playing Sea of Thieves way back when, I was the one that usually taking care of the boat while people were off gallivanting. So when you say like, oh, Andrew doing everything on the boat, first of all, let's quit that nonsense. I'm usually the one. I remember we were playing with these 2 guys that were just like hopping around with these gunpowder barrels, and they were like, oh, why didn't you do this? And I was like, because I'm doing everything else on the boat. Like, I'm adjusting sails, I'm driving, like, what are you doing, bro? And so for me, like, let's rephrase that for a second.
I was only teasing
as for
anyways.
Me, I'm just saying, and I really do enjoy like going on YouTube and looking at different videos for Sea of Thieves. I got into it a little bit today, and it was just like, dang, they're really good. Because for me, like, I haven't had to fight anybody this week. But when we first started playing, like, I really did suck at fighting people. And so for me, like, if I can do stuff on the ship to be helpful, like, I like doing that. But if someone jumps on the boat, it's like, yeah, I'm obviously going to try to fight them. But, I mean, anyone with any skill level is going to defeat me, you know?
So the 2 big gameplay elements of Sea of Thieves, to kind of get a little bit into it, because I kind of want to hear your guys' discussion of like the improvements of it. You have ship battles. It goes either from the ship or from land. And in the ship battles, since the Anniversary Edition, they've added curse cannonballs. They have added fireworks. They have added the harpoon guns. And
what are the fireworks even for, except for the achievement?
They're for fun. Just general fun, because you can, if you're ever fighting skeletons at night, you can shoot a flare in the sky, and it lasts quite a while, and it illuminates like the entire island.
Oh, okay.
So it has some utility, but majority of the time it's just kind of meant for fun. But they've added different improvements to the ship, or different elements to the ship. I guess I couldn't really say it's improvements, but the ship now has like different degrees of damage. You have can have a small, medium, or large hole, and depending on the size of the hole is how quickly water pours in and how long it takes to repair it. Your masts can get destroyed and your sails can go down. Your capstan and your steering wheel can take damage, so it's harder to operate. They've added a bed so you can sleep. They've added cooking. Well, cooking was on the 1-year anniversary, but they've added a ton of different things to the ships. Now, as to the land battles, they've added fire bombs and blunder bombs, and that's it.
They added new enemies,
and that is and new enemies. But this is my biggest complaint. I love the sea battles. I think the ship combat and Sea of Thieves is fantastic. It's a ton of fun. It's really dynamic. It makes for some exciting moments. To me, the hand-to-hand combat is boring. It is still the same thing. And like, they haven't really added any new moves. There's no new weapons, which is really frustrating, because I remember even back in the 1-year anniversary, people were like, oh, it'd be cool if they had axes or maybe daggers. You could have different types of weapons.
Or a sniper? Like, if you could actually...
Well, there's sniper rifle.
Oh, Dodoy. I never use the guns.
Yeah, it's still the same 3 guns. And so it's just like...
But I mean, a lot of the stuff that you're mentioning, I completely agree with you. Like, for instance, like the whole sleeping thing. Just eat a freaking banana. Like, stock your shit before you go. And also, every island that you go to has crap. So for me, it's just like those little things that are just kind of like nonsensical.
No. There may be nonsensical to you, but I can tell you now, it is really huge for the role-playing community. Sea of Thieves has done a fantastic job for people.
How is sleeping good for the role-playing community?
Because you're acting like a pirate. You have to actually sleep in real life, so people play role-playing of Sea of Thieves and like...
But like you could actually be doing other stuff that was beneficial. So like when we
used to play, you
would like shoot off into like... No, I
Sorry,
do.
that sounded aggressive.
No, it did actually. No, but like
Sorry.
what I'm saying is like when we used to play, like you would shoot off and onto like other islands and stuff. Like you would do other stuff. So for me, it's like I get the whole role playing aspect, but it's just like I feel like it's just kind of an excuse to lay there and maybe take a bathroom break.
The idea and not to like kind of go back to like the whole point of role playing though isn't them trying to progress in the game. It's not about trying to get gold. It's in most cases, they're content creators. They're probably streaming, things like that. So they're like kind of telling stories. And so the goal isn't to have the most bananas on the boat. It's to really...
be your pirate.
Yeah. So if they're doing like a video, they just like show themselves sleeping for
It's
forever?
not necessarily a video
like,
even.
It
may be a streaming thing. And yeah, their pirate may go to sleep for 10 minutes. And then what usually happens, and Sea of Thieves is like many of these types of games, like Rust is another one, where it's not just one streamer that people watch, it'll be communities of them in some cases.
Yeah.
So there'll be like 10 simultaneous streams. Andrew's pirate goes to sleep. I'm going to switch off at Andrew's stream, and he's going to hop over to your stream, Liz, because you're now the pirate who's out like looking for the treasure, or you're doing something as part of this role play. And I agree with you. It seems weird from like the actual Sea of Thieves gameplay as it's designed, as we play it, but people do it, and it is actually kind of fun. I prefer it in the sense of how we did, where we just kind of made it up as we went. Kind of subjected everyone else to it.
Like how much freaking time do you have on your hands? Like for me, it's just like when I play Sea of Thieves, I want it to be like as concise as possible because I got other crap to do. Like I don't mean this in a judgmental way, although like I hope it doesn't sound like that. But it just for me, like with the whole role playing thing, like when it's like, oh yeah, I want to like role play Sea of Thieves, so like my character needs to sleep, and you're just like laying there and just like.
Well, these are people that are like, this is the only game they play, and this is what they do. Like,
and they're like professional
right?
streamers, like 40 hours a week. Like this is their job, so like they have time for it.
So they need those breaks, is what you're saying. They need those snack breaks.
Probably.
Because
I mean, honestly,
for me, like I don't buy that with like the role playing thing. I'm doing this to role play, and like it's like no, like you're streaming for 10 hours and you need to go to the bathroom. But
I mean, but you know what Grand Theft Auto is, right? You know how it plays.
Yeah.
So there's like that's another game that's huge in the role playing community. Like people will play an ambulance driver in that game or a cop, where they actually like go around and like pull people over for speeding, like stuff like that. Like they actually try to play like a actual simulator role playing game. And so some people do that with Sea of Thieves, which I think is not odd, but it's just.
But where do you stop? Like pirates go to the bathroom. Are you gonna have little potty breaks?
I guess.
Like
I mean,
so for me, it's like for me, it's just like you're not like for me, it's like this whole role. I don't know. But I sound judgmental. I just don't get it. Like it's not for me.
To me, what I think is kind of odd about it is Sea of Thieves still does not have any dedicated servers. So at least Grand Theft Auto has done that. So people who are playing role-playing games, like as a role-playing game, you can join that server. In Sea of Thieves, you can't. So you may be trying to do role-playing, but you know, here comes a big old galleon full of scumbags who just want to harass you nonstop. It's like you can't do anything really about it unless you beat them. But one of the new contents they came out are ghost forts. And the ghost forts are really well designed, but they specifically made a lot of things in the ghost forts as well for role players. They made it so you could actually kind of set it up as your base. It's the ghost forts are very similar to the skelly forts that happen in the world, but it's less loot, but they're easier to do. But it's like a three-tiered fort, you know, with cannons on the side. You know, there's bunk beds, a huge kitchen table, a map, like a whole bunch of things where you could run and kind of have a quote-unquote base. But like I said, I looked it up, and yeah, you can't do dedicated servers, so it's just kind of like.
Well, I mean, like pirates are sometimes woken up by gunfire, I guess. So maybe it's just like it's kind of real for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I like that I said it kind of sarcastically, but you earlier, you just said scumbags. And I feel like this game really is like two types of people. There are the people that are aggressive, that want to play as pirates. And then there are people that just want to play the game, which both are fine because it is a pirate game. But I do think it's interesting that you said scumbags. Let
me reiterate. So if you were the type of person that's going around and just kills people and take their loot, whatever, that is the game. Well, I hate this phrase, but people say it, this is Sea of Thieves, not Sea of Friends. I get it. Okay.
But there are sometimes that the people that are trying to like take over their boats really suck, and then they get embarrassed and sign off after they fail the first time. So for me, I'm just like, sometimes I feel like people are just attacking ships because they're like, we're gonna sign off in 10 minutes anyways. Like, why don't we just harass this person? So I feel like there's just like the jerk, the pirate, and then the person that just wants to go around digging stuff up.
Yeah, for me, the people that are kind of scumbags are the people that literally keep coming at you. You take them out easily and just sink their ship, but they literally keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. You literally could have nothing on your ship, but these people just keep coming back. But and it's like, leave me alone. I think it's
embarrassing the other way around, though. Like, if someone attacks you and you wipe them out, and then they just sign off the server and just like, really? Like, so for me, I just kind of, there's no in between, I feel like, either. Like, there's nobody that like really tries hard and is good and then fails. Then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to stop harassing you but stay on the server. There's none of that. It's just like, go big or go home.
Yeah.
It irritates me when people keep coming back. You're wasting both of our time.
I'm so torn on it. And I think the biggest thing is I agree with you, Andrew, is I don't know, if I'm going to attack someone and I fail, I'm not going back for a second whooping. I went, I clearly was outmatched there and I should not be fighting you. I'm going to carry on with my life. Please leave me alone as well. So, and I don't even think those people are jerks. They're just dumb, honestly. Like, it gets, in some cases, yes, they're doing it purely just to be a nuisance. And sometimes they're not even trying to sink you. They'll just come try to ram into your boat. Really just literally be a nuisance. And I'll admit, I can't stand those people. But it is such a weird fine line of the whole point of this game is to attack people. I mean, not really, because you have alliances. But it's like, it's just a factor of the game. So I try so hard not to let it annoy me. I think the one thing, and I don't even think that this is really like breaking news here, and I don't think anyone would be shocked to find out, the people I really can't stand the most is, attack me all you want, but I really could not care for your stupid trash talk. And like, I don't need to know that, ooh, you own me as you sink my boat. Cool. I understand. I was there. I was present. I watched it happen. And it doesn't even hurt my feelings. I'm just like, cool. Like, if that's the part that you feel good about, and because it's the internet and people have to make something that could be fun a bad time, like, it is not that frequent. If you've never played this game and you're afraid to run into this, it's not common, but you have people who, like, they find ways of throwing in racial slurs or homophobic slurs, and it's one of those things that I'm just like, why is that necessary? Why is it necessary that I'm just sitting here trying to play a game and you come over, you attack me? Fine. But then you just start spamming racial slurs at me, and I'm like, for what purpose? Where is the joy here?
See, I've seen a lot of videos, and a lot of the people that just get annihilated, they're the ones that go off. And they, especially homophobic slurs, that's what I've heard the most.
Oh, that happens a lot
and
too.
It's so outrageously done. And I think too, like, I mean, when we used to play, like, way back in the day, I've gotten better at it, but I was always the one that wanted to go to outposts all the time to drop off treasure.
Yeah, we'd have one chest.
I knew if we had a full boat of chests that, But I also want to say, like, to Keith's point, like, looking at YouTube videos and stuff, I feel like a lot of the funny videos came from like a couple of years ago, and I don't think the like toxicity has really gone away from the game. Like, looking at a lot of the videos online, I mean, I can't really fault the game with that, but I don't think it's gotten any better. It used to be like there were some people that would post a lot of like funny videos and like pranks and stuff, and I feel like that's kind of gone away a little bit in the videos, and just so like the toxicity is more highlighted.
didn't interact with any crazy toxicity. Like, I can't remember the last time.
Well, no, I'm talking about specifically YouTube videos where, like,
Yeah.
you mean like you're meeting in the, what is it, the Ship of the Damned or
The Ferry of the
whatever?
Damned, yeah.
Ferry of the Damned. And, like, you just hear, like, I mostly hear homophobic slurs a lot.
Yeah. And I will say, too, like, you can report people, but they still haven't really come out with an intuitive way to report people.
No,
they keep saying how...
It goes through Microsoft is all it does.
Yeah, and which is kind of unfortunate, but, like, you think they would have an easier system to start reporting people, because they know there's some severe toxicity in it.
I also want to say, do they still come out, this is completely off topic, but do they still come out with those fun things? Like, a couple years ago, there was that thing where you had to shoot yourself into a specific chair. Like, you had these, like, little things that you had to do.
Not really.
Because I thought those were so much fun, and they were, you know, spaced every once in a while, so there's always, like, new stuff to do with that.
So a little bit after the 1 year anniversary, Rare announced that they are no longer doing a big patch. Like, they always had these big moments of, like, you know, they had the Megalodon event, they had the Skelly ships, you know. Then they had, in between those big ones, they had these little things to do, you know, lighting the lanterns on these certain islands, or dying in certain ways, or, as Liz said, the shooting yourself into these chairs.
I always remember that because, like, I was weirdly good at it.
Yeah.
And it's like
I mean,
always like
there.
a proud moment of my gaming where it's just like I felt like I just loved it because I was good at it.
But now Rare does these big patches between their battle pass. So they now have come out with a battle pass, which they call, of course, the Plunder Pass. And I gotta say, it's honestly one of my favorite battle passes. So anyone who's, for the most part, played any video game at this point kind of knows what a battle pass is. Every game has a battle pass now. Essentially, it is there's a free version, usually a premium version of this battle pass, where you are leveling it up, usually to level 100, and as you level it up, you get rewards. Rares, so usually when you do a battle pass, like I said, there's a premium and a free one. The free one usually will only give you, like, you know, little in-game currency, maybe like a spray or something really crappy. But the premium one is the one that has all the good stuff. Sea of Thieves Battle Pass is the complete opposite. The free one is where all the treasure is. Every level you are getting something. Whether it's gold, whether it's the premium currency, the ancient coins, or the doubloons, or maybe some cosmetics. Every level you're getting something. And the premium version of it literally gives you, like, a ship set and a costume set. So there's like 10 pieces of, like, premium gear you can get if you buy the premium Plunder Pass. I never feel like I am pressured to buy the Plunder Pass because I'm actually earning premium currency just having the free version. And the free version gives great stuff.
Yeah, I have like $1.6 million and I don't really feel like I need to spend it.
Well, I mean,
it costs real money to get the premium version.
Oh, real money?
Yeah.
Yeah, or the
I
premium
thought you were
currency.
talking about like buying stuff in the game.
No.
I wonder how much money they make from that.
Oh, tons, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Any game that usually has, like, cosmetic stuff like that, they make quite a bit of money.
Because I was, like, floored finding out, because Andrew and I, you know, play Gardenscape. Sorry to, you know, throw that in there, Andrew. But I was floored how much money they make from that. So, like, Sea of Thieves, I'm just like, I feel like you said, I feel like I don't need to do that at all. I don't never feel like that, oh, well, you could have this. So I feel like they kind of do well with that, where they're not, like, pushing it.
Yeah, but you're earning the premium currency for free. So it's very slow, but you at least can get some of the really nice cosmetics eventually that are in their premium shop. So it's really nice. I absolutely love the Battle Pass in Sea of Thieves. I think it's a nice addition. But yeah, they only come out with a major patch between each season of the Battle Pass that they have. So this current one is about the Golden Sands outpost got destroyed, and it introduced the Ghost Forts. And now there's, like, stages. So the second stage, the current one that we're on, is summoning the Megalodon, specifically the Shrouded Ghost, the one that's the most elusive Megalodon. And I think it's a really lazy event because it's very similar to when they first came out with the Megalodon. If you play back then, you know, you have to get a crew of at least 5+ people, so you need to ally with someone. You have to go around and do these certain things to summon it. It's kind of boring. I didn't care to do it. The Shrouded Ghost Megalodon isn't really anything that interesting. It's just white. So the event's kind of lazy, but I at least like it. I like that Sea of Thieves is still coming out with constant content. They're just not as big and crazy.
Man, remember the Hungering Deep?
That's what it's called, the Hungering Deep. I
When
kept forgetting what the name of the event was.
when you had to get an alliance before alliances were really a thing.
Yep.
Like that event, and I probably talked about this on the first episode, but that event will forever be burned into my brain because what a nightmare it was. Because it was, it as it stood, you kind of already had to hope for the goodwill of other pirates out there that they were actually going to help you and not screw you over. And I think after like our third try, we finally got it. And someone you had been playing with, I don't remember, a friend at the time of yours had been playing along with us. And out of nowhere, about halfway through the fight, he just decides he's going to, for fun, start shooting the other ships that were supposed to be all helping us.
Yeah.
And so everyone turned on each other, and then everybody died, and we didn't get the dang shark.
Yeah.
We never played with that guy again. Nope.
Yeah.
That was the last time he ever got to join our crew.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of times where you play with someone just like, I'm never playing with you again. You don't say it, but you just know, like,
and that was the last time I ever played with them.
So the next thing I want to talk about, though, is so every emissary has finally gotten new voyages. Thank God. Because when you played this game, you had digging up X's for the gold hoarders, fighting skeletons for the Order of Souls, carrying chickens and snakes. Actually, no, they actually came out with
to the silks and stuff.
Yeah, they came out with the silks and plans in the 1 year anniversary, but honestly, that's boring. Or like even more boring. I'd rather catch chickens and snakes. I do not like delivering those goods. And that was it. Yeah, but then they came out with like the Reapers and the other ones. So the gold hoarders now have gold vaults, which you go and kind of find scraps of a map and eventually dig up a key and you unlock a vault. Try to grab as much treasure as you can before the vault closes on you. Order of Souls now has you fight ghost ships. And then the merchants, thank God, finally have a fun voyage where you are going along this path and looking for a sunken merchant ship. And it is very rewarding. It gives you a ton of loot. It's something that's very simple. But man, I am so glad they finally did something for the merchants. But also for the merchants, they came out with a bartering system where you can buy goods for really cheap at one outpost and trade to another outpost. That's not very fun. But at least they came out with a fun voyage for them.
But the first two that you said, I mean, you really need to play with other people in order for it to be beneficial.
Yes, doing the gold vault by yourself is not very good.
And same with like battling skelly ships, you know?
You're not buying, it's ghost ships. There's a difference.
Ghost ships.
Yeah, ghost ships you can shoot 3 times anywhere and it sinks them.
I know, but what I'm saying is like, I feel like it's a lot easier to play by yourself with the way that it used to be.
Yes.
I mean, you're still like filling holes and stuff. And
even the merchant one, you can do solo, but it is just so much more efficient when you have somebody. So what do you guys think of these new voyages? Are they good additions?
I think they're good. I just like the old school style of playing. I just wish that it was, like I said earlier, more concise, where like you don't have to spend like 3+ hours doing one. You know, I remember like the islands used to be like all over the place. So gameplay wise, I prefer the old way, but efficiency wise, like the new stuff is definitely a little bit superior.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, a lot bit superior.
So I actually never tried the new merchant one, to be honest. It does sound fun. Yeah. I think I do think I would enjoy that, or just the concept of it alone. I can tell you I enjoy more than the normal ones. Delivering stuff was the worst thing ever. It's just, I don't know. It's not that fun.
It's incredibly boring.
Yeah. I do like the fights with the ghost ships, but honestly, and it kind of goes back to what you're saying it's unfortunate because the land fighting is kind of the most boring, but I want to do more of it. And so I just want a few new weapons. I just want that to be more interesting, or I kind of would like if they maybe had some of these missions where you're not fighting some skeleton captains. Maybe you have to go fight some ocean crawlers or some ghosts on land instead of at sea. Like, that would be kind of fun, but I like them. I like the addition. I thought the gold vault was pretty fun. It's a little bit tough to do solo.
Yeah.
I ran it by myself.
As much reward.
Yeah, I mean, I lost all my reward thanks to a nice little Reaper that came up behind me after I got all my treasure, but I had... Even doing it by myself, I probably still was going to come away with a good 25,000. I mean, I had a lot of treasure, and I picked up a lot in the vault, so those were really cool. But I think the best addition, and I don't know if you mentioned it, and I wasn't paying attention or whatever, is the new Athena missions.
That just came out like a week or two ago.
And you and I ran one of those. And again, maybe because part of it includes not having to do one of those boring merchant missions just to do them. But these new Athena missions were way more fun than the old ones. And I would much rather do these over the old ones any day.
But this is the tornado one, right? That tells you where because that's what happened with when you were playing the other night, right?
Yeah, so there's a new Athena's called Through the Veil. I think that's what it's called. Or Crossing the Veil? Something with the veil.
Something Veil Stones.
Yeah, something Veil. But it's essentially, honestly, it plays a little bit like a Tall Tale. The Pirate Cat Lord comes to your boat, kind of gives you this whole story of, the veil between the living world and the dead world is this thin veil that this group is trying to break, and you're got to stop them. And it's a lot more efficient, because anyone who's done the original Athena's, it is pretty boring. You get 2 Gold Horde missions you got to do, 2 Merchants, 2 Order of Souls missions. You do all those, and you get your Chest of Legends. That's it. Pretty boring. But this one was these interesting battle moments of fighting these NPCs when we actually had friendly NPCs fighting with us. It had like these cool like hide and seek moments where you're trying to search an island for hidden statues. And then it ends with this really cool ship battle where you have to fight these forts and ghost ships and eventually fight this big fort. But as Liz said, there's a massive tornado that appears. So literally everyone on the server knows what you're doing. So you're trying to do this and people can just come and start harassing you, which is not a good time. Luckily, the one me and Keith did was practically in the Devil's Roar, so nobody's coming over there.
Yeah, weren't we on like a server where everyone was in an alliance too? Or did we get...
No, that was a different one.
Okay. I remember.
Is the Devil's Roar the volcano?
Yeah.
Yeah, much more tame these days.
Yeah, they finally they turned down the Devil's Roar a little bit, which is nice.
Which I think it's really interesting with the Reaper flag. Like, you never find, or I personally never find, like a Reaper ship that's friendly.
No.
It is really like the people
point.
that attack you. No, but like there's certain, like when we first started playing, there were certain things that you needed the Reaper flag for.
Yeah.
So you didn't play as a jerk or as a pirate, sorry, like, but so for me, like you didn't play as a pirate, you just needed to have the Reaper flag up.
Which is whenever I run Reapers, that's what I do. I have the Reaper flag up, but I'm just doing world events.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, when you're playing the game, like, if I have the Reaper flag up, it's because I have to have it up. But whenever you encounter one, they are not friendly.
I've noticed since the 1 year anniversary, I feel like more people are more aggressive. I had a very hard time convincing people to join Alliance with me, which is annoying because Alliance is just beneficial for everyone.
You get
why would you
like
not do
half the amount of money.
But yeah, I think people are more aggressive. And I'm curious. So now too, the big thing that has happened recently is they closed the arena, which the arena came out during the 1 year anniversary, which was a specific PvP. Everyone was kind of hunting treasure and just fighting on a small map. It was just a closed kind of combat ship battle and some land battle, but they closed it. They said at most only 2% of their player base ever played the arena, even when it first came out. So they said it wasn't worth working on, it wasn't worth doing anything to it, and they just decided to close it, which is kind of sad. I actually enjoyed the arena. I just never really had a crew to play with.
I mean, I remember playing it with you, and it was fun. I mean, it was a little frantic, but it's just like, I'm surprised that more people didn't play it. Like, why didn't all the aggressive people that want to pirate actually, like, have other people that wanted to pirate as well? That's why I feel like it's weird that it's a bit more predatory, with like in the game where they're hoping to find like a sloop that's like defenseless versus like, manning up and doing the arena.
Yeah.
So it's weird that it's like all the pirates were just like, oh no, I don't want to actually battle.
Well, it's the same reason why people, you may not know, but why people smurf. It's a term of like, a person who, plays a heavy PvP game like Apex Legends or Overwatch. You may be a diamond division person, but, you're going against diamond people. That you don't want to do that. You want to go against people that are bronze ranked. So you create a new account just to poke on little kids because they're super easy. People do it all the time. And I honestly could say it's probably the same reason people do it on Sea of Thieves. They want to go for that solo sloop because they know they're an easy pick and target.
I also so this reminds me like when I was watching a YouTube video and someone in the comments, this galleon just annihilated another galleon, and someone in the comments was like, oh, this is what it looks like when people board my ship. Like this is their point of view, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, that's why I'm so surprised at the percentage of that with the arena.
I was too. I mean, it kind of makes sense. There was, I feel like a handful of times I had a hard time getting a full lobby. So I guess it makes sense, but it kind of makes me sad. But so the next thing, we don't have to talk too much about it because, you know, if you really want to know too much of our thoughts on graphics, just listen to the original episode of Sea of Thieves. But there's one thing I want to touch base a little bit about the graphics, and that is all the new cosmetics Sea of Thieves has been coming out with. So I don't know if you guys ever looked through the premium shop, the Pirate Emporium, you know, even just sailing the seas, you can see a lot of people with various costumes. I will say some of the costume designs are pretty cool, but some of them are kind of insane. How do you guys think the art style of Sea of Thieves is going? Because back in the day, I thought it was gorgeous. It was very much a pirate sim, but now it's getting, I think, a bit too cartoony.
I haven't looked too much at the Emporium. I still have our old uniform that you said that you guys got rid of.
The blue dress, that was our old pirate uniform.
I stand by it. I don't need a fancy getup. I think my character looks great. You guys used to tease me about my character, and I think that
super old man with no teeth.
Oh, adorable old man.
He is adorable, and I think that he's just like the perfection that was Sea of Thieves a couple years ago. So there's no need to change it. I don't need to go to an Emporium, you know. But also just like I forgot to before we recorded. So like how it's changed, like I feel like everything in the game besides that, which I haven't done, looks the same, and I love the graphics of Sea of Thieves.
Now, I kind of agree with Andrew as far as, like, you, in part, like, you said this to me, you know, the other night when we were playing. Like, the more that they've added, the less real it's become with these new ghost forts and all these things. It's just, everything is bright, and it looks nice, but it's almost cartoony. Whereas I used to just sit in awe and wonder of just, like, the horizon on Sea of Thieves, the oceans, the boats, the shadows, and all of those things are still there, and they're still fantastic. So like, it hasn't gotten worse. There's just aspects that haven't gotten better, and they just take away from it a little, I think, is more what it is.
It pulls me a little bit out of the world, because what it reminds me a little bit of, I feel like Sea of Thieves is starting to drift a little bit into Fortnite.
The Disney thing is the kind of the first step, honestly.
Yeah, because like Fortnite when it first came out was, you know, there was some goofy dances, but if you play Fortnite now, it's just non-stop music playing with these weird dances. You got literally every sort of costume from like John Wick, Rick and Morty to like Marvel and just all these wild costumes. And I feel like Sea of Thieves is starting to drift a little bit into that, which kind of bums me out. But some of it is cool. Some of the ship designs are fantastic and are really gorgeous, and I love them. But another thing that I loved, because there was a new addition, they now added a lot more graphical stuff to underwater. With the second episode of Pirate's Life, you go down underneath into the Sirens lair. You know, you now fight these underwater creatures, and their environments are gorgeous. Beautiful coral, tons of broken ships. You go through this like labyrinth of just really cool crystals and mazes. It's gorgeous. I don't know. Some of the cosmetics, though, like I said, just kind of, I don't care for.
I think I remember that, because that was where you would find the unmarked islands and stuff, right?
The unmarked islands, some of them, that was back then. In those, trust me, the Sirens is even more beautiful and elaborate. Yeah, they're crazy looking.
Nice.
And then as far as the audio goes, once again, not too much different. But I just got to point out, the very first episode of Pirate's Life really got on my nerves.
Does it play butt rock?
No, just non-stop. A ghost constantly saying, "Dead man tell no tales," constantly. Yeah. And I was just like, for the love of God, shut up. And then as soon as you keep going, they go, "Man, these ghosts have a lot of tales to tell." And it's just like, so this ghost is constantly yelling in my ear that dead men tell no tales. And then they go, "These ghosts have a lot of tales to tell." It's like, did you have to do the audio so much then?
Yeah, I will say, as someone who loves repetition, not in like audio specifically, just in everyday life, I love repetition. I found it a little annoying. Like I was done with the story after just the first one, you know. But I mean, audio wise, like, you know, if something's chasing you, like I think the audio is good, but yeah, the story wise, It made me not want to do another.
I mean, I understand the context. Because, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, I think, literally does that all the time, too. Like, there's a voice that says that. And then, of course, there's Pirates of the Caribbean movie called Dead Men Tell No Tales. I get the reference. But my God, I didn't need to hear it every 5 seconds.
It's a bit much.
Yes, it was annoying. But the nice thing about audio, the musical instruments, you now have a ton of shanties, and you can select your shanties, which was a really nice feature. Because I remember back in the day, we always would play our music, but there was like 6 songs, which is really lame. I would love for Sea of Thieves Rare to finally, they added a bunch of little improvements to ship. Give us a jukebox. I would love to have a little musical box on my ship that plays Row, Row, Row Your Boat for me while I'm sailing. Like, I would love if they had a little jukebox you could play. So, Rare, if you're listening, that could be your next ship improvement. They already have a jukebox in the tavern that you can play with a little skeleton guy that dances, so it's in the game. Just put it on the boat.
I was going to say, would that look like out of place, having a jukebox on your ship?
I mean, it's literally a musical box. Like, it's a little tiny thing. So, they just need to put that in the ship. It'll be fine.
Okay.
But there actually is another thing that is for audio that's really annoying, and that is the pets. I was so excited originally when pets were coming. Me and Keith always talked about it, like, hey, this would be so cool to have a little monkey or something. I hate the pets. I never take it out. I have a dog and a monkey.
Well, they don't do anything, right?
They don't do anything, but they whine every time battling's going on. And I don't need to hear cannon fire and my dog constantly crying or my monkey hollering.
I mean, it'd be nice if it was just like a warning, but I will say, though, maybe it's because of the way that you treated your pets. I was playing with Andrew and
Keith.
Keith. Yeah, I was just trying to think if Keith was there, and then I remembered he was, because you guys are both tossing your pets out of the cannon, and then you're like, "Oh, Liz, you do it." I'm like, "Why?"
Because it was really funny.
Felt so bad.
Because
I handed you the monkey.
Why would you think, "Hey, let me put my pet in a cannon and shoot him"? And you're just like, "Liz, why aren't you doing it? It's so fun. It's so funny." Like, maybe that's why they were whining all the time.
It was hilarious. If you shoot a monkey out of a cannon, it is comedy.
How is it funny?
It is comedy.
Did you watch it fly out of a cannon, Liz?
No, I don't think I would.
Then that's why you didn't find it funny. You didn't see the comedy. You didn't watch the comedy happen.
This is just like such a difference with us. Like, for me, I don't like the idea of sleeping during a video game, and I don't like the idea of putting animals in cannons. And you guys are like, yeah, let's just like watch someone sleep for 10 minutes and then shoot animals out of cannons.
I never said I wanted to watch somebody sleep in a video game.
I know.
I'm just saying they do it.
I just said that's what role players do.
And
you were talking about the pros of it.
The literal only time ever where I would think it is funny to shoot a monkey out of a cannon is in a video game where there's no actual monkeys being harmed, and it is just hilarity.
Yes, I would not shoot a real monkey out of a cannon. I agree. That would be very morbid and grotesque. But a monkey that you name Cannonball and shove into a cannon and launch it, it's hilarious.
I don't get it.
I mean, maybe if you shot it out of like a water cannon at some slow enough speed and it landed on like a bed of Jell-O, just because I bet it'd be kind of funny and cute when it did that, but I don't know.
But yeah, those are my only kind of gripes with audio. But besides that, they've added some new music. Like I said, with the Ghost Fort, you kind of have the fort music, but it's kind of, more Spanish version. Like there's more, what instruments they use? I can't think of it. But yeah, it definitely has like a Spanish vibe to it. So it kind of has like this cool environment to it. So they have some new music in the game. But one of my complaints, like I said, I wish I had the jukebox in the boat because there really isn't much music when you're sailing. So you're just kind of hearing waves, which is very relaxing, but kind of puts me to sleep sometimes. Play your own shanties.
I just, I'm just hearing a lot of laziness. I just want to sleep while I'm playing. I want a jukebox and I'm too lazy to play my shanties. Like,
let's get into a fight so there's some music playing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have solutions to your problem.
But great thing about the current state of Sea of Thieves is the achievements, because boy howdy, there's a lot of them.
Boy howdy.
Like that phrase? I think the gamer score is over 3,000 now.
Dang.
Because with every patch, they keep coming out. So, like the Ghost Fort one, they add like 5 new achievements that are based around the Ghost Forts. They're all pretty easy to knock out. So, when you're playing, you are generally just going to keep getting achievements. I don't think I recommend the game exactly for achievement hunters, but it is very rewarding just kind of playing. You're just getting achievements here and there. Because when you look through the list, there's some very easy ones.
It's a lot to look through.
But we're going to get to our final thoughts here for revisiting Sea of Thieves. So for me, as I've kind of said, I think Sea of Thieves is still a very fun game. I just think it's gotten worse if you're a solo slooper. If you're someone who's very good, you could obviously still kind of get by. But the thing that kind of irritates with Sea of Thieves, I feel like it's just gotten away from the realistic pirate sim. Because originally when they came out with this game, they're like, we wanted to have like no HUD, like nothing on your screen, like not even a health bar. But the health bar appears when you take damage. But like, that's it. We wanted you to actually control every aspect of your ship. We wanted this to be, you see your map. And it's just like you can navigate to the map, but you don't see anyone. But in the current state of Sea of Thieves, I feel like it's hard to stay under the radar. I feel like now a lot of things are constantly broadcasting that you're doing something, and it just encourages people to harass you. So I feel like it's just more encouraging to be in a team and have a group of people, which is fine. If you have some friends, this is a fantastic game. It is still hilarious. I don't think it's as good as like kind of creating your own stories and going on these weird, wacky adventures. I had some moments, but I don't think it's nearly as much. But granted, we've put hundreds of hours in this game, so maybe I feel like we've just done everything. I love the new additions. It is so much easier to get to Pirate Legend now. We didn't even talk about the emissary flags, where you get bonus gold just by doing whatever, and you get a ton of money. So if you're a solo person, check out the Tall Tales. You'll have fun with them, but you need friends, unfortunately.
Unfortunately for us.
In real life and in the game. I think I'm just going to give it a 90.
Oh. I was like waiting for more to that 90. You ended up abruptly, like there was more to it.
Because I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to give it lower, but I'm like, I still have a lot of fun with this. It's still a very good game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say you were negative about it, because you weren't. But I don't even think I'm at that. I can see all of your points. That I think that there's, the old style of the game, whereas it did make it easier to stay hidden. And I think that was one of the biggest things, is it felt so much more of it was never a survival game in any capacity, but it felt a little bit more of one, with the only map you could look at being the one in your ship. You only had your compass. You had nothing to really rely on outside of all of that. I mean, heck, they actually have the North Star in the game. So even if you don't look at the compass, you technically can guide yourself to a certain degree, just as a pirate would. And all of that was cool. And I think where we used to be able to come up with kind of just some of this weird things and just do whatever was, everyone kind of was in the same boat. We all ran out of things to do, and so we were all kind of just sailing the seas, screwing around. Like, everyone was in that same boat. But now everybody's always doing something. And so it just, ultimately, everyone's on the defensive. No one wants to be a friend, or even if they do, they might want to be in an alliance, but they want to be in a business alliance. It's like, go make your money. I'm going to go make my money. There's not fun. You don't have times where, or as many times, I don't think, where you have all 6 boats that are on the server sitting around while one person is snoring into their microphone at 3 a.m. Like, maybe it's just we're different now and we're older and we don't do these things as much. But I feel like that part of the gameplay is gone, and I do miss that. But man, is it still fun. And as much as as all of these new things have taken away some of that purist in me, it's made the game, I think, just so much more accessible. And I think more people can and would want to pick this up as a result. And I think that's great. So I don't know what I gave it on the first time. It was probably an awesome or something. So, because who knows if we had a real system in place at that point. Okay.
We did. Liz wrote hers down.
But thanks, Liz. Perfect. Thanks. But that said, I think 92. Yeah.
So I was originally a 95, and you guys have actually talked me down 2 points, I think, and I'm gonna say 88. I think one of the things that we talked about with
2 points from 95 is 93.
No, I'm saying like you guys talked me down 2 points from the original score.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I was confused.
Sorry, I didn't
math.
say that correctly. Yeah, so I was originally going to give it a 90, but we've talked it down to an 88. For me, when we were discussing it the first time, one thing that we really brought up was like the story mode. how we really wanted it. We thought it'd be great. And then what a disappointment. Like, not to sound mean, but it's just like, I don't want to say this in like a mean way, but it just felt like such a sellout where it's just like, it could have been like an epic story. It still could have had that sense of adventure. I thought it was boring. And when Captain Jack Sparrow came on, I was like, is this a joke? Like, because I didn't know any of this was happening. And then there was like this scene and dialogue that was reminiscent of the actual movie. And I was just like, this doesn't feel like Sea of Thieves. And I also think too that when we were originally playing, like they were trickling in these like different elements that like gave it some spice, like with like the volcanoes and stuff. And now with like the tornadoes, and I feel like it's just so much more aggressive. And I kind of disagree with you a little bit, Keith, where it's just, I think it's far less accessible. It makes me not want to play it as much, where it's just like, I like the old school of playing. I thought it was really fun, the joking around, and now it's just a lot more serious. And you don't really get any of that relaxing time, you know, where you can goof around or someone on the ship can take a break. I don't know. I just think it's kind of gone downhill a little bit. It's still a good game. I still enjoy sailing the seas, but not my jam at the moment. And then looking at Metacritic, original video, it was 69 and 4.9. Now Xbox One is 69 still and nice. 5.3. And then Series X, TBD, and 7.4. So the scores really aren't that good. But I mean, I feel like there's a lot of factors that could be involved in that too. I mean, like we touched on earlier, it really, like it, obviously like there's like an aggressiveness to the game. And, you know, a lot of people are playing against each other. You can play however you want to. You can be aggressive. You could just do your own thing. But like we said earlier, it's still like pretty toxic in a lot of areas, which I don't think they can really help. You can't really force people not to say horrible things and stuff like that. But it's still out there. It's rampant on the internet. So
you can turn audio off so you don't have to listen to people.
No, but that's true, but it doesn't make it disappear, though. Like, I can cover my ears while you're screaming at me. You're still screaming at me.
That's true.
So, and like I said, I don't fault the game for that. You know, you can't help, like, what kind of people play your game, but I think there's a reason why there's a lot of negative reviews, but honestly, this game is so much fun. I just wanted to go back a little bit. Kind of, like, go back to the good old days.
So Liz normally will, read a random person's review on Metacritic, but we actually had our longtime listener Curtis write us an email to what his thoughts were of Sea of Thieves. So, fun fact, Curtis has been listening to us since our original Sea of Thieves episode, so thank you so much, Curtis, for sticking around with us.
We're so sorry.
We're sorry if we disappointed you with this episode.
I know, I feel like this episode's negative, but we all love the game.
I know. So Curtis writes, so Sea of Thieves, it always holds a special place in my gaming world. No other game has captured me like Sea of Thieves did way back in the day when released on Game Pass. I can remember how barren it was, and even though at the time my friends said how boring it was, I was secretly hooked, which me and you were, Keith. We played the beta like crazy. He says, I haven't played another game that has come close to giving me an absolute sense of freedom. I enjoy that I can go between the different factions, doing different voyages, or just purely go fishing or sailing, or hopping from island to island with no real goal in mind, just following your own compass. Even though I haven't played since day one, I'm still learning all the time, getting better, being my own pirate, and getting more understanding of this world. Sometimes I won't play for a few months, but it's always been a game I could pick up and get back into, partly because I love the game, because it's also because the game has a great development team behind it, constantly updating it, and adding things to keep players always chasing more adventures. Which I fully agree. Like, this is one thing Sea of Thieves actually was nominated for the BAFTA Game Awards for Continually Evolving Game. They unfortunately didn't win. They actually lost to No Man's Sky, which I think is understandable. No Man's Sky is a game that has drastically changed. But Curtis continues by saying, in my experience, it's just as much as a game as it is a social experiment. Because every session I play, I am always impacted by other players, whether that's directly or indirectly. Players may come over and shoot on sight. Others may actually want to help. If I see others, I will change what I'm doing to either avoid, attack, or parlay with them, which can lead to many different adventures being good and profitable or bad. Time-wasting, anxiety-inducing experiences, all that to say, every time I play, I've had both amazingly good and funny sessions, like my crew deciding to play shanties instead of patching holes on the ship, and ringing those bells that serve no purpose. Which, that was your favorite thing, Keith.
Oh no, I used to play music from the shovel.
Oh my god, that was annoying.
My shovel music.
But Chris continues by saying, to it is a true testament. Sea of Thieves is bringing a great game as evident in its history, from its barren beginnings to its current state, having some rich lore that has spawned its own book series, many podcasts, and streamers. If there was nothing to this game, it would have died a long time ago. Besides, this is a game where you can hold and pet and feed a dog or monkey or a bird and make them dance to music. Also, shooting them out of a cannon is enjoyable. See, Liz, we're not the only ones that like shooting pets out of a cannon.
Haha, you're wrong.
You're in the minority here, Liz. But yeah, so thank you so much, Curtis, for writing us a review. I fully agree with a lot of things you said.
There's a lot of people out there that think that the world is flat, and 3 people can tell me the world is flat and call me an idiot, but, here I am saying what I think, so that's fine. And by the way, I want to say that I sounded really negative this episode, and I think it's just going from a game that I loved and then not playing for a couple years and coming back and seeing kind of what they added to it and what they changed. And so for me, I'm sorry if this seemed really negative. I really do like it. Curtis is talking about how much he loves this game, and I remember absolutely loving it too. It just, for me, the updates went in the opposite direction that I liked. With the things I liked about the game, I feel like they went with the things I didn't like about the game and went that direction, which is totally fine. People obviously love that direction. So yeah, I hope I don't sound too negative. It's a great game. I just,
So thank you again, Curtis, for writing us a review on Sea of Thieves. So just a quick reminder for people, for anyone who gives us a game suggestion, if you've played the game, please give us a review. It can be a couple sentences long or it could be a paragraph, whatever. Tell us your review, and we'd love to read it on the podcast. We don't just want to be the only, angry voices here yelling into the clouds. But if you have a game suggestion, you can email us at gamepassgrabback@gmail.com or at Twitter @GBGPpod. Make sure you follow us on Twitter because we normally put a poll for our listener requests because we get quite a bit of them. So make sure you help dictate us as to what game we should play next, because we always love when you guys take control. I've been your hardcore gamer, Stranger. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952.
I've been Keith. I need to stop coming up with segments because I don't do well at them. So
no, you do not.
Nope. But I'm really good at coming up with segments. So
I know
there's something.
It's what segment you're going to come up with.
Oh, new segment idea. Keith's new segment. That one was
new segment. That's your new segment.
And that's the last segment I ever created. Sorry, Liz.
And I'm Liz Noob, Gamertag, coming on Dean. I'm on Twitter at LizNoob. Noob is EW.
All right, everyone. We're sailing on out of here. So thank you all so much for joining us. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.